On January 15, 2009, a routine afternoon flight lifted off from LaGuardia Airport in New York. It was US Airways Flight 1549, an Airbus A320 carrying 155 people, passengers and crew, heading towards Charlotte. Most of them expected nothing more than a normal flight, a normal day, and the usual small discomforts of air travel. Then within minutes, everything changed. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft struck a flock of Canada geese. It wasn't a light bump, it was a violent impact, and almost immediately, both engines began to fail. Inside the cabin, you can imagine the sound, the sudden change in engine pitch, the unnatural quiet that doesn't belong at low altitude, and the feeling that the plane isn't climbing the way it should. Up front were two pilots, Captain Chesley, Sully, Sullenberger, and First Officer Jeffrey Skiles. They had seconds to understand the nightmare scenario, loss of thrust in both engines at a dangerously low altitude over one of the most densely populated areas in the United States. This is the part people forget. It wasn't a heroic speech and a slow cinematic decision. It was a compressed moment, training, instinct, teamwork, and the weight of 155 lives pressing down on every word spoken in that cockpit. Air traffic controllers offered options: turn back to LaGuardia, divert to Teterboro, but the aircraft's altitude and position made those options razor thin. Sullenberger made a decision that would define his life. He said calmly, "We're going to be in the Hudson," and in less than 4 minutes from the bird strike, the plane glided down toward the river. Now imagine the view from the cabin: Manhattan on one side, New Jersey on the other, cold water below, and the reality setting in that your plane is landing on a river. But what happened next is why this event is remembered the way it is. The aircraft hit the water in a controlled ditching, hard, but stable enough to stay afloat. Passengers climbed out onto the wings. Others waited on the inflatable slides as they detached into rafts. And in the freezing air, surrounded by water, they did what people do in emergencies. They helped each other, they held hands, they followed instructions. They stayed as calm as human beings can be in chaos. Rescue boats, especially nearby ferries, reached the scene within minutes. The image of commuters turning into rescuers became part of the story. Ordinary people, suddenly doing something extraordinary. And somehow, against the odds, everyone survived. Many were injured, some seriously, but there were no fatalities. This is where the emotion hits. Because survival isn't just making it, it's stepping onto a wing in winter and not knowing if the plane will sink. It's hearing strangers praying. It's watching a flight attendant shout commands with a voice that doesn't shake. It's realizing that the person next to you, who you'll never meet again, might be the reason you got out. And for the crew, it's the kind of responsibility that doesn't leave your body for years. Later, the National Transportation Safety Board investigated the incident and ultimately credited the outcome to a combination of factors: rapid decision making, crew coordination, aircraft design and safety equipment, and the proximity of rescue vessels. But even with all the analysis, there's still something about the moment that can't be reduced to checklists, because what people remember isn't just the engineering, it's the human steadiness inside a crisis. When everything goes wrong in less than 4 minutes, what matters most? Skill, teamwork, calm, or something deeper we can't fully measure? They called it the miracle on the Hudson. Maybe it was. Or maybe it was what happens when preparation meets pressure, and people do exactly what they were trained to do, at the exact moment it mattered most. Either way, 155 lives went home that day, and the river became a runway.